Hello, welcome to Teach to Code. So today I wanted to build a program that we could add two numbers. And it's going to be two random numbers, and it's going to be a program that should keep running continuously until the user wants to stop using it. So let's go ahead and create a new project. We're going to do a new Java application, and we'll just call this the number adder application, I guess. Adder feels weird. Let's just call it the number add app. Alright. So now that we've created our project, the first thing that we're going to be doing is making a new class. So let me just go ahead and fix my curly braces because I like them down here. Let me get rid of this comment section, and then alright. So make sure you're out of the main method. You should have one curly brace on the bottom that's closing the class. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is we need a static method since we're making it inside of the same file. And we want the main method to access it later. So we're going to do public static. Now this method isn't going to return anything, so we're going to have a void data type. addNumbers. Now this is not going to take any parameters or arguments, so we're going to leave it just like that with the parentheses. So if we're going to be adding two numbers, I want this to be a whole number adder. We're going to do int a equals 0, so we're going to initialize our variables. Int b is equal to 0. We're going to have an int sum also equal to 0. And then we're going to use a counter. Now the counter is how we're going to control whether the user is going to terminate the program. If they get the answer wrong, they're going to have a choice if they want to retry the problem. And they'll also have a choice to do a whole new problem. So let's go ahead and try this. Alright. So the first thing we're going to need is the secure random. And what secure random does is it gives us random numbers that we can work with. Supposedly, the computer is not even supposed to know, or Java, what the random number is. So that's why it's secure random. Now it's going to give us this error because I did an import. So let me go ahead and import Java security secure random. And here's the import statement if you guys need it. If you feel like typing it in, maybe your IDE doesn't just add the import for you. Most of them do though. And then we're going to do a scanner object. So we want the user to be in control. So this is going to be a new scanner object. And into the argument we're going to pass System.in. Yeah. Now I'm also going to get an error there because we haven't imported the scanner. So that should be java.util.scanner. So here's the import that I just did. Okay, so now we have our secure random object, we have our scan object, and we have our variables initialized and ready to go. So what we're going to do to keep this running is we're going to use a while loop. Now we're going to check while counter is less than or equal to 3. And so both of these are going to have to be true. Use the double and symbol. Oops. And counter is greater than or equal to 1. So as long as counter is 1, 2, or 3, if you're following along with the logic, it's going to keep running this loop. So the first thing we want to do is start our control statements inside of the loop. So if the user does counter, oh whoops, I skipped a step. I'm getting ahead of myself. Well, let me just go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and make the control statements real quick. So if counter equals 1, if counter equals 2, So we're going to have a couple of if statements in here to do the control. And if counter equals 3. So far we're not going to program these control statements quite yet, but we should have 2 curly braces for each of them, opening and closing them. Now what I did forget to do is, first of all, let's print out to the user, right? What is this application even about? So, well, not even what it's about, sorry. What input are we taking, right? What should the user be doing? So here is where we want to put input 1 to quit. So if the user pushes 1, we're going to make him quit. The program will exit. 2 for a problem. I guess we should say addition problem. Sounds a little funny, doesn't it? Alright. So into that, we're going to have to store a counter with a value, because right now counter is 1. So if we program if counter equals 1, we're going to terminate the program every time. So right here is where we want to go. Counter, we're going to store into the value what goes into the scanner. Now the method we pass into scanner is going to be called nextInt, because they should be pushing in an int. So if counter equals 1. So first off, we're asking the user, do you want to input 1 to quit, 2 for addition problem. Now if we're going to make the user quit, let's do a print statement out real quick for them. And let's go ahead and say something like goodbye. Something friendly enough, right? And then into this, we're going to do System.exit. So if you ever want your program to terminate, you just pass in 0. And that's going to kill the program, and it's going to give the memory back to the computer. Because you got to remember, when we're running the Java file, we're taking memory from RAM, right? So we are saying, hey, we're going to use some of this memory. So when this program's over, let's go ahead and terminate it and give the memory back. Some other app might need it, right? So now if counter equals 2, we're going to have a very fun time here. So A is equal to 1 plus rand. So this is our random object, secure random object. Next, int, and then 100. And the reason why we pass in 1 plus the random number is because random number will go between 0 and 1. So it'll actually just print out a decimal. So if you're doing integers, it's going to round down to 0 or round down to 1, and those are pretty much the only numbers you'll get. So we go ahead and pass in 1, and it'll just make everything a nice whole number for us. So B is equal to 1 plus random number, well, rand object, next int. Into that we're going to pass 100. So this should do from 0 to 100, or 1 to 100. I forget. I have to check that out. It's been a while. But essentially, we're going to have these 2 random numbers generated up to 100. If you wanted to make it harder, right, you could pass in 1,000, 10,000, etc., etc. But for now, I think 100 will work. And if you're seeing what's going to happen with sum, hopefully, it's just going to be A plus B. So these 2 lines are going to populate A and B with a random number. The sum is actually going to add those. And it's going to give us something to compare to, right? We're going to need to compare the number to the user's choice, if that makes sense. Hopefully I haven't lost you yet. So now we need to print out to the user, what are these numbers? Because if we don't print them out, how are they going to know what to add, right? So first number is, and then we're going to concatenate A. And I would put the space here so that way your number is not touching the is. I like the space, it comes out clean. Now if we show the user what A is, we probably should show them what B is, right? So let's go ahead and copy this over. Let's paste it. Don't forget to switch this to B. And it should probably say second number, right? So second number is, and then we're concatenating the B value. Now we're going to ask the user System.out.println. So this one's just going to be print. No new line needed. What is the sum of the two numbers? And we're going to give it a space there as well, so it doesn't look like the numbers are touching the actual sentence. So now we have int answer is equal to scan.next int. Now we don't need to initialize the answer because essentially there's always going to be a number. It's whatever the user's pushing into it, right? If you do feel like you need to initialize it, we could definitely put it with the global variables. Well, don't hold me to that. I believe they're global. They're local to this method anyway, right? So we don't need them in that scope that it needs to be accessed everywhere in the method. So answer will be fine just in this if statement for now. Alright. So now we have everything we need. We have the sum program, so there's a place storing the sum. There's a place storing the answer of the user. So if you can guess what's coming next, let me scroll down a little bit. If sum is equal to answer, right? So we want to do that comparison. What's the actual answer compared to what did the user push in? So if it's equal to each other, we should print out to the user. I'm going to do a println here because I want a new line. And let's say your answer is correct. You could do a good job, any of that stuff. And then else, so if they get it wrong, right? If it's their answer isn't equal to the sum, clearly they got it wrong. So System.out.println, and maybe we'll say something nice. So please try again. Alright, so for number 2 we have it where it's going to give us an addition problem. Now if counter equals 3, well, you're probably saying we never gave them a choice to push 3, right? Well, we're going to have to program that a little bit later in the loop. So essentially what I'm thinking, if counter is equal to 3, if they push in 3, they should be able to retry the problem. So what we can realistically do is copy everything. So we don't want to copy these random numbers, because if we copy this into the if statement, it's going to store new values into those, right? So we do want to print out the numbers to the user. We definitely want them to take another guess, and then we want to check if their guess is good compared to the answer. So we're going to copy all of this from the print statement to the else statement, and we're going to go ahead and paste it in there. So now if they want to retry the problem, right, it's going to show them the value that's still stored in A, because we're not programming new values. So it's just going to show what's already in A and B. It's reusing it. And then it's going to ask them, well, what is the sum of the two numbers? And it's going to store that answer into the scanner object. And if the sum is equal to the answer, it's correct. Else, please try again, right? You could push 3. So that was an easy one to program. It's like we programmed it twice. So we're outside of the if counter equals 3. If you guys could see that, it pops it up on my IDE. So now we want to do at least two more things. So what if the user pushes anything other than 3, right? So if counter is greater than 3, so if they push in 4 or above, oops, or, so this is going to be the pipes. You're going to want to find the pipes right above your enter button. Where it is on Mac, I don't know, sorry. But give it a look, I'm sure you guys will find it. And if counter is less than 1, so if they hit 0, -1, anything below 1, we don't want the program to run. So what we want to tell them is System.out.println, and it's going to be not a valid entry. Alright, and then from there, here's the part where if we're in this while loop still, so I haven't left the while loop if you guys are following along. So we're going to keep looping and looping and looping and looping unless they hit 1. That's the only way that it's going to exit and just close the whole program. So if we're looping around again, if you notice, this print statement's outside of the while loop, right? And it's outside of the while loop for a reason. Now we can copy this, and we're going to add on to it, to be honest, realistically. So let's go ahead and paste this here. Man, I pasted it horrible. Let me fix my stuff. Okay, so input 1 to quit. Let's go ahead and change this to for a new problem. And then let's go ahead and comma, or 3 to try problem again. So let me go ahead and scroll a little to the right so you guys could see that. So now they're going to have 3 options. Now they can push 1 to quit, 2 for a new problem, or 3 to try again. And then we need to store their value again, whatever their choice is. This would probably be a better variable to call choice now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. So let's go ahead and hit run. Oh, build successful. Well, yeah, we got a successful build and nothing happened. So how come nothing happened? Because there's nothing in the main method, right? So we never called the method. So first off, since we're in the main method, let's go ahead and put to the user, what the heck is this program that we're even running, right? Welcome to the addition practice application. And then all we have to do, since we set up this nice method, right, is actually do the method call. So now let's go ahead and hit run. So we got input 1 to quit, 2 for a new problem. I'm going to hit 1 and enter. Goodbye. You see how it terminated? Beautiful. So now I'm going to run it again. Let's go ahead and pass 2 into it. And there we go. We got our first number. So I believe that 1 plus 94 is 95, right? Your answer is correct. Yay! So now I guess I'm going to go ahead and push into, oops, let's go ahead and get a new problem. So you see how the numbers are different now? So 60 and 57, I'm going to just say 120, I'm going to get it wrong. Please try again. Oh man, I am frustrated. I'm going to push 3 because I want to try this again. So it gives me 60 plus 57 again. Do you guys see that? That's beautiful, isn't it? So should be 120 minus 3, right? 19, 18, 117 if I'm doing my addition correctly. Your answer is correct. Yay! So when you're done practicing your addition, you could definitely quit. So this is a fun way to just kind of make an addition problem checker, right? the way that schools are going, who knows? We might need more of this logic in life, right? So if you wanted to do subtraction, hopefully you're starting to see a lot of this could be copied. You could probably do one more loop where you actually ask the user, right? Do 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, 4 for division. So this sentinel control loop is beautiful because we give the user a lot of the control, right? Oh, we never tried an invalid response, so let's go ahead and try that. So let's say 2 for a problem. Let's go ahead. Oh, not 2, sorry. We should be putting something like 4, right? So build successful. So it actually terminated the program. How weird. Let me go ahead and see if we program this right. So if counter is greater than 3, or counter is less than 1. How weird, it didn't print out our not a valid entry, so there is a little bug here. Yep, it's terminating the program for some reason. Let me see, what's the logic here? If counter is greater than 3 or counter is less than 1. That is interesting, guys. I might have a little bug here I'm going to have to work on later. Oh, whoops, I meant to hit 0. Let me try passing 0. So yeah, it's just terminating the program. How weird. I'll have to go through this and get back to you guys and see how come this little line of code isn't running. That's pretty interesting. I think I'm outside of the if, right? Yeah. Well, I'll have to work on it later, guys. So I haven't made a video in a long time. I'm going to be making an extension to the point program I built earlier. I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'll be making more videos, so please let me know if you guys need any help. I am looking forward to doing videos again. Looking forward to being asked questions and helping people, so do let me know how I can help you guys. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.